All right, today we got a good video. I'm going to be breaking down how you guys can kind of change up the hot routes on your tight ends to create zig routes that can beat man-to-man coverage, but also change the type of corner route that your tight end might run for the purpose of beating man, or the steeper corner that a slot receiver would typically get that is better against zone. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell, get out your pen and pad, and let's lock in. So what I want to do here today is just kind of show you guys an audible trick. This is something that I think right now, especially in Ultimate Team, where a lot of these tight ends that they're putting out are in-game level tight ends. They're super fast, 99 speed, and they're getting all these bells and whistles abilities that improve their run blocking, but also they're catching traffic, their route running, etc. Tight ends are probably the biggest weapon that you guys can use in Madden Ultimate Team right now. But one of the things that a lot of players kind of struggle with is the fact that they don't really get the best hot routes. Now, every single receiver in the game can run a post route or a corner route. I would say the biggest thing that you guys will notice when you start to like hot route your tight ends is, you can see right here, I'm going to pull up the hot routes for my tight end, Jimmy Graham. You're seeing that he's going to get these hot routes with the hot route master of trail, wheel, hook, and deep cross. Really, the only good man beating hot route out of all these is probably the tight end corner, which is a sharp breaking corner route. This is a really, really good corner. You're going to see right here that, you know, it's not necessarily the best route in the game for beating man in general. It's a good route, but as we all know, the whip route, which I'm going to put on my slot receiver over here on the left, is far and away the best man beating route in the game if you're looking for, you know, a consistent winner in a short yardage scenario. The other thing is, a lot of people are always worried about corner routes. So one of the cool things we're going to break down today is an audible trick. And all you need to do to make this trick work is come out in a formation with a tight end lined up as a slot receiver. So for instance, right here, I do a lot of my content out of bunch tight end. You guys can find my full offensive game plan and so much else, weekly updated vault content, etc., on Gridiron Game Plans, the best place in the community. Get better at Madden. $9.95 a month unlocks the entire website. But what we're going to do here is we're going to activate the ability to audible into this same formation that I was just in. So as you guys know, or maybe you don't, audibling in Madden requires the same personnel group, meaning that if I come out in a 3 receiver formation, but I sub a tight end like Tyler Warren here at one of the 3 receiver formations, when I pull up my audible menu, the formations that are afforded to me are going to only be formations that have 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, and 1 running back. So this allows me to audible into single back deuce close, or single back wing stack, or pistol deuce, or gun wing slot offset. Now, for the purpose of this trick, I'm going to show you, you want to call a wing formation, meaning that you get a tight end that is lined up off the ball, a second tight end off the ball. What this does is, once you do this audible, this is going to take your tight end that was originally a wide receiver and move him across to the wing role. But when you pull up his hot routes, he's going to keep the slot hot routes that you would normally get, namely that zig route. So the ability to put a zig route on a tight end, especially when you're playing man-to-man, is something a lot of players are not prepared for. So you might see the ability here, if I get a man look, I might say, all right, cover 1, if I could just win outside against both of these man-to-man players, I'm going to be able to pick up a huge gain. So you see right here, I could throw this whip now to Tyler Warren. He cooks the man-to-man coverage, and I pick up more yardage than I would if I were to throw a corner route, or about as much yardage as I would if I were to throw a corner route to Jimmy Graham out of our stock formation. But the throw is much safer. You don't risk people, you know, most people aren't going to play man with hard flats because it gives up corner routes. They're more likely, if they're going to put an extra zone on the field while playing man, to play something on the sidelines anyways. So this is a great way for us to win. Now, when you think about my philosophy when I play this game, I run bunch tight end because of the play whips. So I've got a play that comes stock with whips on both sides of the field. And this is great because the tight end specifically does not get the whip hot route. If I were to take a look at Jimmy Graham right here, again, you have wheel, hook, trail, deep cross, and then you have the traditional post route and the tight end corner, which brings me to my next point here. When you guys do this trick, you guys are going to get a different type of corner route for your wing tight end as well. So when I audible here, I'm going to put Jimmy Graham on the tight end corner route from the hot route tree, and I'm going to put Tyler Warren on his new corner. And you're going to see that there is a difference in the depth of those breaks. Now, it's not to say that the Tyler Warren corner can't beat man-to-man. We know for a fact that if you have the right abilities, route tech or, short in, mid in, one of those types of abilities, it can light up from time to time and give you guys a really good cut. But in my opinion, the Jimmy Graham sharp corner is better against man-to-man and also the cover 4 hard flat meta, while the Tyler Warren corner is better, especially on the short side of the field, against zone coverage, or if I were to motion a player across against zone to run off the deep zone, that will create a lot of space underneath of that deep zone for Warren to work that intermediate level of the field. So the ability to get this steep, sharp corner is so useful. So let's contrast that trick real quick here as we put the ball on the right hash. When I audible into this formation, we're gonna have our twin tight ends or our wing tight end to the short side of the field. Now there's a couple of different things we can do here. When we talk about the cover 4 hard flat meta, I have the ability to just run a regular flood with a sharp tight end corner. As I've already mentioned, this is probably the best corner to throw on the sideline against the cover 4 with the hard flat. That's what everyone likes to run, and they blitz and they switch stick around, and that's such a good throw that you guys can consistently make. As I said, with this hard flat style defense, you don't have to worry about the flat guarding either corner, but what we like is this sharper, flatter, almost out route-ish style corner that you guys can throw pretty safely into this particular spot. Now, what I'm not as much a huge fan of doing is running the steeper, sharper corner against zone unless I'm on the short side. So that's why I like this trick here, because what I could do is say, hey, Jimmy Graham, I want you to be my runoff guy. Tyler Warren, I want you to be my steep corner, and I want you to get into that sideline. And you see right here that you can actually throw this. But then the cool part of utilizing the slot receiver corner is that I can now motion this across. Now, from an offensive point of view, I could be doing a lot of things with this motion. I could be running inside zone and giving myself an extra blocker on the left, but I also could be flooding the wide side of the field against this cover 4 meta. And a lot of people aren't going to be ready for this steeper type of corner that we can throw into the sideline. Better throw right there. We're picking up 30, 35 yards, obviously. So pretty cool trick here. Now, the other thing with this type of audible is that there's a lot of extra confusion here with this. I want you to take a look at this here. So right here, we have the slot hot routes. Again, I could run a zig. Again, this is super, super valuable. One of the biggest parts about this is that I can use the running back to attack the flat. I can go ahead and zig, so I have a short check down, and then I can still go ahead and run kind of like a flood to the other side. Again, this is great because I can go left, I could go right, or I can hit my post route in this spot and pick up a big game, provided that a KO doesn't make this happen. The other thing that you're going to be able to do with this, however, is utilize motion. And we just did the motion with the deeper flood, but I want you to take a look at this. When I do this particular motion, again, we're in the Seattle playbook. When we do this audible, so now we know we have slot hot routes. So I can put a zig on the field, but take a look at this. I motion Warren across. It changes his route to a swing. Why is that? Well, that's because now when we put him at this spot, he gets running back hot routes. So now he gets the S corner, he gets the C route post. And the cool part about this is I can actually motion this back. And you see right here that this turns into a actual C route rather than a C route post. So now I can do a lot of goofy stuff here with this, and we're just really cooking with grease. If I were to go ahead and put him in motion again, he's got this hot route that is more of like a running back style hot route. I also get the running back triple option or the table route. Not that you would necessarily like a table route from this spot, but you have the opportunity if that's something you want. You also have the ability with this to run the pass blocking, the block and release, which again is kind of a cool little block and chip to the flat. Again, that's not a real route that you have available to you with a tight end hot route apprentice. So now you get a block and release to the flat. Again, your possibilities with this type of trick is pretty limitless. And again, this is just conceptual. I'm doing this out of Seattle, modeling into a wing set. You guys might try to run this in your playbook and see what you can find, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, make sure you guys give it a like, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you this afternoon with a short. Otherwise, tomorrow with another long form upload. Until then, this is Zan, get in the lab and good luck.